Over 25,000 persons have been displaced as a result of the La Soufriere explosive eruption on April 9th. 15,000 still in shelters, not knowing when or if they will return to where they once called home. But just how far along are Vincentians in terms of their recovery? CARICOM Operations Support Team Leader deployed through SEDEMA, Superintendent Sylvan McIntyre, spoke with GBN earlier today.
Definitely with regards to people returning, some persons will not be able to return permanently because they've lost their homes. Others may not be able to return because of the psychological impact it is continuing to have. So the government currently, they're trying to identify other settlement areas for the rebuilding stage where people can be relocated. The government has not at this point, outside of declaring a disaster zone, has not totally cut the areas off or made a statement regarding permanent settlement. But what has been said is that it is a danger area, and we know for sure that some persons would not be able to relocate, or they would not be able to return to the areas that were affected by the eruption.
As assessments continue, McIntyre further explained that the green light has been given for persons to occupy parts of the orange zone, while other areas remain inaccessible due to heavy ashfall accumulation.
Everyone is expected to be out of shelters, but there are some areas that are inaccessible at this point. It is too dangerous for some people to go. As a matter of fact, the scientists have maintained the restriction for the red zones. The only persons that are given limited permission to enter the red zones are the emergency and critical utility companies to go into those areas to do some form of repair and put in some form of infrastructure work so that people could return.
Our lessons other islands such as Grenada can learn from the St. Vincent experience, Superintendent McIntyre explains.
Because of the seismic challenge and hazards that we are exposed to in the Caribbean, Grenada in particular, it is saying to us that we need to revisit our response mechanism, our preparedness structures, our information relative to how people should deal with that, our coping mechanism and structures in place to include physical facilities, how they have been built, how they are intended to accommodate, and our evacuation plans and policies to include transportation, not just internal, but how we can integrate and move to other territories if we have to.
Dr. Uracilla Joseph, Director of the University of the West Indies Seismic Research Center, provides this update via telephone on the activity presently at La Soufriere.
Seismic activity at La Soufriere St. Vincent has remained low since the tremor associated with the explosion and ash venting on the 22nd of April. The volcano continues to be in a state of unrest, with escalation in activity can take place with little or no warning. In the last 24 hours, there's been no recorded earthquakes. Caution should be taken in traversing river valleys on the volcano due to the increased risk of lahars during periods of rainfall.
Christina John, GBN News.